So you got a call from your agent and you have a showing in 2 hours. And you're looking around your kitchen going, oh my God, this is a major mess. There's laundry in the bedroom and I've got toys or dog bowls in the middle of the floor. What do? Yeah. This is the part that nobody tells you about when you're staging your house while living in it. And that's today when I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do without going crazy. Hey there, my name is Kasha McDaniel, and I'm an occupied home staging specialist where I help women over 50 get their houses sold while they're living in it. So here's why this situation may pop up on you and you may just feel overwhelmed at this point. It's because most staging advice is meant for empty homes where the people don't live in it and they've brought in rental furniture and everything is just picture perfect, right? You're not walking through it. Not when it comes to someone who wants to live in the house while you're selling it, okay? You didn't just move in. You've been there for years and it's maybe decades, right? The goal isn't to erase that life. It's to curate it strategically. And when you've lived somewhere for a long time, you have a tendency to get what I call seller's blindness. There you have blinders on, you don't see the different piles of clutter or a mess or things that shouldn't be there. You get immune to it over time. I do, even just now after living in a house for a year. You're like, oh yeah, I'll take care of that pile later. But we'll get back to that seller's blindness here in a little bit. What I want you to do is basically get a mindset shift when it comes time to selling your house, okay? So instead of making the house look like no one lives here, you want to show it off as if the right person lives here, but beautifully. Show off that space, okay? So their buyers are not here to buy square footage, they're buying a feeling, right? How does it make them feel when they come in there? Does it make them feel, this is home, this is where I can imagine myself living here, not looking around going, oh my gosh, I have to tiptoe around all this stuff and it's just claustrophobic or dark or whatever it is that they're feeling, okay? You don't want them to think that. And you also don't want to be living like you're living in a hotel for 3 months, okay? But you're going to make a few strategic changes that make a huge difference when you're selling your house. So let's get into basically what I call kind of a 3-layer system where we go through and talk about a framework that you can actually use. So the first layer, and I talk about this in my Home Staging Basics course and other courses that I have, is the one-time purge or decluttering. Okay, that is a big deal. That's the first step. You really need to take a look and declutter each and every single room. Okay, and I cover that in my courses, how to do that. But basically, you're not cluttering for decluttering's sake, you're decluttering for the buyer's eyes. What is it that they're going to notice? Okay, so when it comes to surfaces, think about it when you're looking at a magazine, right? What is on the countertop? What is on the coffee table? What is on the bathroom counter? Those types of things you will probably not see in a magazine, right? Normally it's a beautiful vase or a decorative bowl or something there that's not the stacks of mail or the pile of homework or whatever it is that you haven't gone through yet, okay? Take a look at personal photos. You know that I'm a big proponent of taking down all those family photos. You don't want them to think about, well, who lives here? You want them to imagine themselves living there, and they can't when they have all these extra eyes looking at them of these family adventures that you took that you should be very proud of. Yes, and I know because I have those too. But when it comes time to sell the house, yeah, all those pictures are down. I've taken them all down and packed them up. And anything that signals it's your specific life versus a great life, okay? So things like maybe you have a collection of cups or a collection of little statues. That is your collection. That's not something that I would recommend leaving out when you're selling your house. Okay, the second layer I'm going to get into is basically the daily reset, because by now you've hopefully decluttered and rearranged everything. You've figured out where everything needs to go. Now this is just the primp and just get things ready, okay? So in the morning, there should be a morning quick routine, about 10-15 minutes of, I made breakfast, but I put away the dishes. We made sure there's nothing left on the counters. Everything's been put away. The trash has been taken out. The beds have been made, okay? Those types of things are things that you shouldn't have to do a whole lot in the morning. just to kind of clearing up from your activities that you did that morning. All right. Same thing with the evening. There should be evening activities. You come home, the kids are, whether they're older or younger, or you have pets, all of those toys, should be put away. Dinner dishes, those would be put away. Maybe you need to put, straighten out the pillows or something like that. Or maybe you're, vacuuming or something like that. Or you're doing laundry that night. That laundry should be done and put away all in the same time. One thing that may help you is using a basket in each room to kind of just scramble and put things away as you're walking in the room and going, oh, that's, I need to put that away. Maybe you had a mental thing of, okay, I needed to work on this today, but I didn't get to it. Put that in the basket. Whether maybe it's, laundry that needs to be done. Okay, put that away. But those are types of things that maybe you can have like a showing basket, if you will. Maybe the homework didn't get done, or there's a project or something you're working on. Kind of put it all in one basket and put it away. Maybe stash it in the garage. That way you can get back to it later for whatever reason that you need to have it out. Layer 3 is basically for last minute phone calls. Okay. Say you to get that phone call. It's like, hey, there's someone coming over in the next hour or two. You might be in the middle of something. Maybe you're in the middle of cooking or something. Hopefully not. You can, tell the real estate agent to say, hey, can you wait a couple hours? We're in the middle of dinner, right? But if you have a checklist, maybe on your phone, you walk through and go, okay, are the dishes put away, right? Those are the biggest ones, right? Laundry is another big one. Pet items. Whether it's, maybe outside or in a closet or something like that. Take the trash out. Make sure the lights have been turned on, that the curtains have been opened or the blinds have been opened, that you can see everything. Make sure there's no smell in the house either. If you need to vent and maybe open some windows, that may be something that you need to do because maybe you did some strong cooking, and even though I don't recommend that when you're selling your house, but it happens, I know, right? So just make sure that there's no, you have a little checklist, whether it's on your phone, that could be something simple, just to make sure you get through there, that the showers, clean, that the toilet seat is down, simple things like that could help you get your house ready for that showing. So here are some of the hardest rooms that may take a little bit more time and a little more effort on your part, starting with the kitchen. That one is the hub of most homes. If you tend to cook a lot, you know that stove is probably going to have some stains on, grease stains or something, or spillage, from the spaghetti sauce from last night. The appliances probably need to be wiped down, the microwave inside, take a look at that. That all, you should have done a deep cleaning in the very beginning, in that first purge and cleaning. But this is the time that's for the maintenance, okay? This is the maintenance phase that you should be doing. You shouldn't be doing a whole deep clean right now, not 2 hours before a showing. This should take place like a week or two beforehand, okay? So that the appliances, are wiped down, cleaned down, that there's nothing visually distracting on the counters. So 1 or 2 intentional items, but everything else gets put away, okay? In the primary bedroom, this is the hardest because it is the most personal. Buyers want to envision themselves in the home, so you may just have to, like I said, that one basket, that show basket, you kind of maybe have some books, or if you have we have a CPAP, kind of put that away in a basket so it's not right there. Maybe it's other things that you have in the bedroom, right? Those are the things that you want to make sure that everything's kind of calm, put away, staged, and that may be where the basket comes in handy. The home office, or maybe you have a bonus room, this one can be a catch-all. I know randomly you'll say, okay, well, it doesn't go in these other rooms, but it's going to go in here. And then that pile just grows. I know, I've had that too. So that may be something that this is where the chaos lives, but don't let it, okay? Please don't ignore that room. Don't think it's just a catch-all. They're going to look at that room as well. So they're going to open the door, but give it the impression that you need to make. Maybe it is a home office, but make it look like a nice office. Make sure the desk is clutter-free. You can have your calendar out there, your computer screen, whatever, your sticky notes and your pens, that's fine, but not like the checkbook along with the iPad and the bills and everything else that you do in order to work at that desk. You know what I mean? And then one of the other rooms that may be difficult is the entryway. That one may, that's our first drop-off point where our keys, our wallets, our shoes go off, our backpacks, coats, all of those things. The first thing that I highly recommend when in the entryway, there should not be any shoes in there lined up against the hallway or anything like that. Okay, I've had clients where there was just 2 of them and there was literally like 15 pairs of shoes. Put the shoes away in the closet, okay? If you need the 1 or 2 pair that you need to go out to the gym and you're going to work, right? Those are the only 2 you should have out, but then make sure they're not left behind when you're leaving the house, okay? Coats, there should be like 1 or 2 depending on the season. But that is the first impression when buyers come in. They look, if they see all this clutter and everything else, again, that doesn't help them envision themselves living in the house. They just see someone else's clutter and mess. Okay, so here's what I want you to understand. The reason why it may seem difficult is that because you stop seeing it. You haven't decluttered. You haven't done the one-time purge, and you haven't planned it all out or anything like that, okay? So when you walk into your kitchen, every morning your brain fills in with, well, this is what it should look like, but that's not what's actually there. Buyers don't have that filter. They don't. You just know, like, oh, well, I'll take care of that. Well, you really need to take care of that, okay, before the buyers show up. They see everything. So what I want you to do is walk through your front door as if you were a stranger. Take pictures. Look around and see, okay, what is distracting in here? Because you don't have that filter, even I have that picture that I have to take as I'm walking through. I'm like, oh yeah, we'll take care of that. And then you forget about it. That's that seller's blindness that I talked about in the beginning. So you've been watching this video and you're probably going, Kasha, okay, well, but how does this actually look room by room with my furniture? Or how do I arrange it? Or what accessories should I leave behind? Don't worry, I got you covered. It's in my 5-room staging masterclass. And I basically go through my process of decluttering, cleaning, rearranging, colors, talk about color palettes and accessories. What you should have, maximum amount of things you should have in each room that helps you understand how to stage your house. And this 5-room staging masterclass is for home sellers who are going to be living in their house, because I know that there are going to be certain things that you'll want to leave out, but you may think, oh, well, I'm not sure if I should. This class answers those kind of questions, and then you also have the option to do a live group coaching call to ask those questions. Maybe you're like, well, I don't know if I should leave this, Kasha. We meet once a month and we cover that and answer all your questions. So you can do this, you really can. You can absolutely live in your house while selling it. I've done it each and every single time. I don't think I've ever moved out of our house before we sold it. Maybe there was one time when we did it when we